Hello everyone, and welcome to another video on Gearotic. This tutorial is for how to use collaring. Originally in the program, collars automatically appeared when you selected a bevel gear, and they weren't available on any other type of gear, but some people do like to have them. They do help to stabilize things like sprockets and many of the gears that you make. Here I have a gear on the screen, and as you can see, it has no collar. It's just simply the same thickness throughout. In order to add a collar, you don't do it when you create the object. Collars can be added afterwards. They're considered a modification. So here on your main program screen, at the bottom on the properties, you'll see a new entry, collars, with a radius percentage and a width. Now if you click on any object, the properties screen fills with the parameters of that object. And as you can see down here in the collar, it says radius 0, width 25%. The width of 25% is a standard setting for all 3D objects, but as long as the radius is 0, no collar will appear. Now if I was to enter into the radius box and type 50 for 50% and then hit the respoke button, you can see what I get now is a collar of 50% of the size of the gear. The spokes have automatically reassigned themselves to be the correct size, and you can see that this has a flat spot on it for drilling for a set screw. Now the width is simply the percentage of the normal width of the object. So here you can see, if I look at it from the side, my gear is about 25 millimeters wide, and 25% of that is additionally added as a collar. If I up the width to say 55% and respoke, you can see now that the collar is at least half of the size of the gear, and we have our flat spot. The radius can be changed on the fly. Take it up 66% for example, and it doesn't matter which type of spokes you have, they should resize appropriately to the object. Now let's just clear that and go to another object, say a sprocket. Sprockets are famous for people wanting to make them a little bit more stable, because as you can see, a sprocket being quite skinny may wiggle on the shaft. It's a lot of stress to put onto this small shaft point. So again, we'll select the object. So it's blue. We can go down and type a 50% radius or whatever number we wish, and the collar appears. You're going to want to increase the width as well, and there we have a collar. You can add these to any type of object with the exception of helicals at the moment. A helical based gear, because it's twisted in space, has not yet been modified to allow for these objects to be collared. These collars are closed manifold. They're part of the STL. It is not simply a collar sitting on top of a gear. Some 3D printers have a problem. They will separate two objects. They'll print a separation layer between two objects that are intersecting. In order to stop that, these are actually integrated into the triangulation of the object and properly connected. One last thing that has to be measured is that it is possible to make a terrible join, and when that happens, you should just simply hit back. Let's go to a non-circular gear so I can show you an example. And let's tooth the gear and go to, let's add the pinion, because that's a nice example. Here you can see it'd be very hard to add a collar. If you get too large, it's really going to interfere with the object. So let's select the object and go down and select a 25% radius. Now as you can see, I'm beginning to bite into one of the teeth here, and it's starting to create a slight problem where we've broken the triangulation of the object. It's trying to put a spoke there and it can't quite fit it. This is an example of going too large on a collar for the gear type, and let's exacerbate that by taking it to 40%. And you can see what happens now is our triangulation gets to be very bad. This is the type of nonsense you'll see if you use an incorrect sizing for something like this. If you hit undo 2 or 3 times sometimes, you can get it back to normal where you're no longer screwed up. So use your undo key and play with your radius and width until you find the collar sizes that you like. That's all we really have to say about collars. Hope you enjoy it.